Hey, everybody. We are here with Seth Andrews of The Thinking Atheist. Seth, how are you doing this evening?
I'm great. I'm got some post-election shock like everybody else, but I'm doing good. Life is good. The show's doing well. We're getting set for our 300th radio broadcast, so it's been an eventful November, but a good one.
Excellent. So for those people who don't know you already, can you tell us who you are, where you are, and what you do in the secular universe?
Yeah, I'm a former fundamentalist Christian from a Christian background, Christian radio broadcaster for 12 years. Finally, in my late 30s, started to ask questions, go figure. And those questions led me to a point where I realized I just didn't buy it anymore. And so in 2009, I started a website called The Thinking Atheist, thethinkingatheist.com. The Thinking Atheist is not a person. It is an idea. It's an encouragement that we reject faith and embrace reason when it comes to finding out what's true, separating the wheat from the chaff, so to speak, the true from the false. So I started the radio broadcast online in 2010. It is now, I think, one of the most listened to atheist radio shows or online radio shows in the world. It's certainly something that's near and dear to my heart. I've authored a couple of books. They're not hitchins, but I'm proud of them. One's called Deconverted, the other's called Sacred Cows. And so here I am as we approach 2017. And mostly, I think more than anything else, besides challenging not just my former faith, but all faiths, I want to encourage people. And so my thing is just to remind others that they're not alone. It's okay to ask questions. Make every day a discovery. Don't let your worldview or your life be handed to you or spoon-fed to you by somebody else. Be who you are at the volume that you want and live every moment, because there's no evidence of a second go-around.
How long have you been a supporter of recovering from religion?
Oh, gosh. It was around the time that I had met Dr. Darrell Ray that I became aware of recovering from religion. And immediately it became something that I wanted to get behind. I've promoted a lot of what it's done, what it's about. We've talked about RFR on the radio quite a few times, trying to funnel people that direction, because there are some who don't understand that religion can be traumatizing. They don't get that. They're like, oh, come on. Everybody went to church and held hands and they sang songs and they ate donuts and coffee after in the fellowship hall. And it wasn't a traumatizing experience. And they are obviously unaware of the damage so often done by dogmatic thinking, by religious cultures, damage that many people carry with them for the rest of their lives in some way. And recovering from religion is a resource for them. And so, as someone who came out of fundamentalism, I understand the fear of hell, the damage to your own feelings of worth, self-worth. You were taught your whole life you were unworthy. So the idea of having an organization that helps you pick the pieces up and assemble them in a better way and retake control of your life, that became very attractive to me. And it's one of the reasons I'm a supporter of RFR.
And I know that you published a book about your deconversion. Would you mind sharing just a little bit about your personal journey out of religion?
Yeah. It started in the mid-90s. I'm a slow learner, right? And I always say it was a couple of major events and about 1,000 small ones, but there were a few major events that happened in the 90s that really rattled my cage as I was trying to reconcile in my own mind God's will. God planned this, God designed this, all things work together for good. But under the surface, I was thinking, this doesn't make sense. It feels like that we as human beings are molding God into the image that we sort of want or need. This doesn't seem like God. It seems like human beings. That's what it seems like. And I went dormant in the faith, is how I like to say it, in the year probably 2000, 2001. I was phoning it in. I believe in God, but I didn't attend church. I didn't care anymore about the Bible. I'd done all that before with little results. And it was a debate that I saw online with Christopher Hitchens against Shmuley Wojciech. I was just thumbing through. I was doing some graphics work on a computer, and I pulled up that video, and I saw this debate, expecting the rabbi to be God's warrior to be the one who would come out victorious. I didn't know much about Hitchens. I was just curious about him. I think I just YouTube searched Christopher Hitchens interview or debate or just his name. I don't know how I came up with it. It's funny. It's a video that when I clicked play, I did not know at that moment that it would alter the trajectory of the rest of my life. It sounds so melodramatic. When I clicked play and watched that 90-minute debate, it altered the trajectory of the rest of my life. After that, I couldn't stop watching videos. And I couldn't stop asking questions. And I started to hear the names thrown out by some of the people in these videos. And I found their books, and I bought their books, and I read their books and read other names and other resources. And it became like the man in the desert who hadn't had a drink of water. He was just, I'd found the oasis of information I had never before explored. And it became kind of this 18-month journey. And at the end of the journey in late 2008, I realized, the rationalists, the people who are saying that there's no evidence for any of this, they're making so much more sense. The world makes more sense without superstition. And I said, in regard to myself, the word atheist out loud in, I think, November of 2008, a very scary time. And, the rest is sort of history.
Yeah. Would you think RFR have been a help to you along that journey? Thinking of the different programs that we run, the hotline, support groups, the secular therapy projects, do you think you would have been able to take advantage? Do you think that would have been easier for you?
I would have been the guy who made the call, I think. I would have been the guy who'd be like, look, I don't even know if I'd have given my name. Maybe I would have, But I mean, I think I would have been like, I have questions. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to describe to anybody who's been a lifelong atheist or who's come from sort of a benign, vanilla, deistic God belief. It's hard for them to get this. I mean, I'm thinking of a specific time in my life in early 2008 when I wasn't sleeping. My eyes are wide open at night and my gut's in a knot, and I everything I'd been led to believe, everything I had embraced it was falling away. It was in that way you don't choose what you believe. I didn't choose atheism. I just started to do more, questions, and I realized I no longer believed. I think I could have definitely seen myself saying, look, at 2:00 in the morning, hey, look, I'm a Christian, or I thought I was, and I don't know anything about atheism. I don't know anything of what is secular. What is that? What is a life without God look like? I just need someone to talk to. I can totally see me using a resource like that. I probably wouldn't have told anybody. I probably would have just done it. Yeah. And I often wonder, what that scenario might have been like, how it would have played out had the RFR sort of been in my inner circle, been on my radar at that time in my life. I certainly think it's something that is a wonderful and worthy resource for other people who might be going through the same thing. A place of safety where they can check in and say, I just need to talk this out a little bit. And, if you meet the right person and you're talking about the right things in the right way, I mean, I think I might have saved some time, Yeah.
So. And certainly some sleepless nights, it sounds like.
It sucked. I mean, I was just my whole life. What's my job? Served mostly churches. What's going to happen to me? I'm midlife. Am I going to lose my job? Who will pay the house payment? Who will pay the health insurance? Who'll pay the mortgage or mortgage house payment? Who'll pay the car payment? What am I going to do with my life? This is all I know how to do. What will my family say? My mother and father and siblings are all devout believers. They are all in 100%. I mean, they're not Sunday Christians. They're all in. My mother wrote a Greek New Testament study guide. My parents met at Oral Roberts University. They are hardcore. What will they say? How bad is it going to get? I really did need someone to talk to, and I didn't really have any. But in fact, one of the reasons I started the website was to try to find someone to have community with, some people of like mind. RFR would have been a resource for me, I think.
Well, and some of the questions that you mentioned, what are the other people in my family going to think? What are they going to say? What's going to happen next? Those are questions that are brought to our hotline agents every single day. And, all of our programs at RFR are volunteer run. as folks, it's 100% volunteer. So as folks begin their charitable giving, why would you encourage them to give to RFR?
Well, I'm interested in, it's funny. We like to, in so many ways, gripe about the problems. It's a whole other level to be able to be a part of the solutions. On the radio show, we've raised money for RFR in the past, and for other worthy organizations and endeavors. It feels good to be a part of the solution. I mean, we consider, it's like, those who are unhappy about the election. And we sit around and talk about how irritated we are and how much it sucks and, all these types of things and how scared we are about the future. And I think that's fine, but it's important to build upon that to create positive change. Our actions are productive, positive part of change. And, when we are faced with the damage done by religious thinking, religious institutions, especially those that go after the weak, the vulnerable, those who have gone through trauma, addiction, divorce, they love going after kids. I mean, how many hundreds of millions of dollars are funneled into children-targeted programs through religious organizations? You're not going to fight that with sitting in the corner with our arms folded, griping about the injustice of it all. And we're not going to be a genuine help to those who are trying to escape by saying, well, it sucks for them, or I hope they make their way out. No. What we can do is we can give our support, spread the word, we can give financially. And yeah, I think we should be talking about money in this movement. It's weird. Some people are so nervous about appearing like they're tithing to a church that they get weird about donating to a cause because they're afraid it will be a religious act. Trust me, charity is not a religious act. The church has never owned charity. In many cases, it does it quite well. It doesn't own charitable giving. It doesn't own worthy endeavors that require funding and people can get behind it with common purpose and enthusiasm to make it a success. That's not a church endeavor. It's not a religious endeavor. It's a human endeavor. And I think if we really do want a better tomorrow, we owe it to that tomorrow to take some resources that we have, whether it's our gifts or whether it's a financial contribution or whatever, and let's get behind organizations like Recovering from Religion so that they can go out and be that particular shade of positive change for those who desperately need it. And I would encourage anybody and everybody, take whatever you were going to spend on a sushi roll tomorrow, or, take whatever you're going to spend on some superfluous thing that will be gone in a week. Take something, sacrifice something that if you feel it like it's a worthy thing, do it. It feels good then to become a part of that endeavor. And it feels good knowing that you were helping to support an organization that is about your values and that is genuinely helping people. That would be my encouragement, do something for RFR because it will feel good. And I think it will bear some real fruit.
And be part of the solution. Yep. Seth, I can't thank you enough for coming on here and sharing with us tonight. Thank you again from everybody over at RFR. Seth Andrews of The Thinking Atheist, everybody.
You give everybody a big hug from me over there for all the great work they do. And thanks for having me on. It's been great.
All right. Thank you a lot, Seth.